after it was swallowed by a thick fog. Where it once stood, derelict ruins and river trees are all that people can see now when the mist rises. Hidden in the ruins are the endless wealth and mysterious powers. Over the years, many hunters have come in pursuit of treasure, but this city awaits quietly for the chosen ones to reignite its stagnant time. The mist arises, and the lost city awakens. Will you become the chosen hunter who returns with endless loot? Or will you become yet another lost soul?
Standing right here is the wisest one in the land, the genius scientist and wizard with incredibly rare talent, Eoga. This is my last failure. My very last. The perfect combination of technology and magic is right before your eyes. My bad. This was not the...
Don't worry, the void is not truly empty.
legends tell of a great and eternal city on Labyrinth that was blessed with prosperity and peace. A city that disappeared one day after it was swallowed by a thick fog. Where it once stood, derelict ruins and river trees are all that people can see now when the mist rises. Hidden in the ruins are the endless wealth and mysterious powers. Over the years, many hunters have come in pursuit of treasure, but this city awaits quietly for the chosen ones to reignite its stagnant time. The mist arises, and the lost city awakens. Will you become the chosen hunter who returns with endless loot? Or will you become yet another lost soul?
Standing right here is the wisest one in the land, the genius scientist and wizard with incredibly rare talent, Eoga. This is my last failure. My very last. The perfect combination of technology and magic is right before your eyes. My bad. This was not the...
Don't worry, the void is not truly empty.
legends tell of a great and eternal city on Laptus that was blessed with prosperity and peace. A city that disappeared one day after it was swallowed by a thick fog. Where it once stood, derelict ruins and river trees are all that people can see now when the mist rises. Hidden in the ruins are the endless wealth and mysterious powers. Over the years, many hunters have come in pursuit of treasure, but this city awaits quietly for the chosen ones to reignite its stagnant time. The mist arises, and the lost city awakens. Will you become the chosen hunter who returns with endless loot? Or will you become yet another lost soul?
Standing right here is the wisest one in the land, the genius scientist and wizard with incredibly rare talent, Eoga. This is my last failure. My very last. The perfect combination of technology and magic is right before your eyes. My bad. This was not the...
Don't worry, the void is not truly empty.
Here we go. Hello everyone. Welcome to Torchlight Infinite's new season reveal. I'm Sean.
This is Ian, the community manager of Torchlight Infinite. Glad to see you all again. As you may notice from our previous posts on the social media, the new season, The City of Aeterna, will be available from September 7th, 5 p.m. And in today's reveal, we'll introduce all the important updates and what we could look into in the new season. Introducing the new mechanic, new gameplay, new hero, and new outfits.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Ian. In addition to the new content of this season, we've also made a lot of optimizations to existing systems, things like crafting, endgame content, and a bunch of other stuff. These are adjustments we've made after considering feedback from the community. So we hope this will provide an even better gaming experience for everyone. Whilst you watch the live stream today, we have also enabled Twitch drops, so you can earn jagged Primacrysts after this live stream. At the same time, all players will receive a limited edition portrait frame on the first day of the new season, so remember to log in September 7th to claim it. Now let's take a look at the season trailer to get a glimpse into the story of the City of Aeterna.
'Tis long ago that tale was told. So long ago I can't even remember our earliest days. Death once separated us, and thus we remained, till the candle of soul called thee back. But my love, why taketh all and consecrate to eternal kingdom? All that followed thereupon seems naught but nightmare. Our city reduced to ruins. Our people turned into monsters. Oh, dearest, what be thy humor now? Stubborn, ruthless, imperious, murderous. You said that we'd be together forever, till death do us part.
The City of Aeterna has spread to Leptis. In the new season, hunters will encounter and interact with the Monument of Aeterna, then be guided to the edge of Aeterna, the Ruins of Aeterna. In the ruins, hunters must complete challenges in allotted time, kindle candelabra for prizes, and obtain a Mark of Ruins, a vital component for hunters to rebuild the City of Aeterna that has the condition of all candelabra recorded on it. Various reward spots are scattered throughout the map. Hunters must stamp them with the Marks of Ruins to create a passage before taking the prizes. They must make sure the Marks of Ruins are connected and cover as many reward spots as possible for more prizes. When the map is completely covered in marks, hunters will be able to enter the City of Aeterna they have rebuilt. In the city, every stamped reward spot will turn into a candlelight of sacrifice, and hunters must get kinship firewood from the kings of Aeterna wandering the city to light the candlelight of sacrifice for rewards. Each candlelight of sacrifice has a chance to change into a candelabrum of sacrifice for hunters to get more and better prizes for completing the challenge. After completing all reward spots, hunters will be able to summon the final boss. Defeat the final boss to start the next round of rebuilding the city. The difficulty and drops of the final boss are determined by the sum of reward spots activated. In other words, the final boss becomes more powerful and more reward spots you connect. And the more powerful the boss, the more impressive the prizes. If you're lucky enough, you will chance upon special maps for a shot at more precious prizes from the rebuilt Aeterna. Enjoy the moment to the fullest when you do. The new season introduces a massive new talent panel, Psalms of Aeterna, which includes loads of season-related talent nodes. Hunters can collect pages of Aeterna in the city to piece the Psalms together to gradually unlock all talents of the season. Through the power of the Psalms, hunters can expand the map of the city and gain massive buffs and bonuses rewards, ultimately unlocking the Infinite City of Aeterna. After the Infinite City of Aeterna is unlocked, every time you clear the city will push it one step closer to reaching true eternity, making it even more dangerous. As the city becomes more dangerous, there will be more rewards too, and there's no limit to the city's tier. Who will venture furthest into the Aeterna? We shall see.
Amazing. Thanks, Ian, for introducing the new and exciting season gameplay. So, as before, there's going to be a new Supreme Boss featured in the new season. Of course, the Lone King of Aeterna will be waiting for you at the end. watching everything you do in the city. When you dare face him, he will slay you without mercy. You can also find a special admission ticket, Queen's Wick, in the city of Aeterna. Use it to locate the lone king of Aeterna in the Great Void. Defeat him and leave with treasures that have been hidden in Aeterna for thousands of millennia. But the story is still far from over. The new season will also introduce a brand new character progression system, Soul Candles. Upon exploring the city, you will get this new item, Soul Candle. Hunters need to equip Soul Candles in the skill panel, and they will nourish Hunter's soul and significantly improve skill effects. A Soul Candle usually has 1 to 3 affixes of random tiers, but you can fuse them to upgrade, evolve, or even mutate the affixes. You can acquire a special item, Tear of Aeterna, from monsters in the city. By spending Tears of Aeterna, you can fuse 2 Soul Candles. When fusing Soul Candles, affixes of identical effects and tiers from the 2 Soul Candles will be fused into one, and the remaining affixes will be either retained or discarded randomly. When both Soul Candles have the same T1 affixes, the fused affix has a chance of evolving into a more powerful T0 affix with 1 guaranteed negative affix, and any T0 affix of the fused Soul Candle has a small chance of mutating into a rare special affix. Mutated affixes are very powerful, however they can also have serious negative impacts on you. Therefore you must balance the power and the negative effects brought by Soul Candles by making the most of the positive affixes and avoiding the negative affixes, making the potent but dangerous Soul Candles to your advantage.
Thank you, Sean. You pretty much covered all mechanic updates about the new season. But actually, there's one thing we haven't mentioned yet. The Labyrinth is essentially a random map, because the route assembled each time is different, so the terrain you encounter inside is also different.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's true. We hope that you can try out this new gameplay for yourselves and be constantly coming up with new Labyrinth combinations, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. Next up, we're going to introduce the new heroes and new hero traits.
Iris, a spirit magus from the Shattered World, who, under Eoga's relentless persuasion, finally decided to join Torchlight. Iris can put spirit magus skills in active skill slots and create a breeze that gives spirit magi the nourishment buff to make them more powerful. They can also help spirit magi grow, change their forms and skills, and even increase the max number of spirit magi that can be summoned. Beyond that, Iris nourishment can push spirit magi into the hyper state of full bloom. Spirit Magi in Full Bloom will unlock an ultimate that can deal devastating strikes to enemies. Lead a squad of Spirit Magi in toppling powerful foes.
Alright, so the Forsaken Iris Growing Breeze will be obtainable through purchasing the Season Pass after the new season begins. As for the new hero trait for this season, it goes to Frostfire Gemma. As Frostfire Gemma's 3rd traits with a flame theme, I'm sure this comes as no surprise to anyone.
Yeah, let's hear about Gemma's story.
If Gemma never met Liv, she never would have learned to balance the power of fire and ice within her. When the frost heart guarding her was finally melted by a blaze, her life also took a turn. Gemma, Flame of Pleasure, will unleash a purgatory around herself and brand enemies within it. While dealing massive damage, she'll also torture them with death by fire for additional fire damage. As Gemma, Flame of Pleasure grows, she can baptize surrounding enemies in fiery agony by using death by fire to spread the damage recorded by Brand, or even has Purgatory follow her around and turn everywhere she goes into an inferno, allowing her to bathe in the pain and suffering of her foes. Alright, so new hero trait Flame of Pleasure can be unlocked using Primacrysts or hero emblems.
Right, and together with the new join of Iris, the spirit mechanic will also bring a lot of differences. Previously, players used spirits more as the buff bots, but for this season, spirits will have the potential to become a very powerful allies. The new mechanic for Spirit Magi's minions, Growth. Spirit Magi are no longer just simple buff providers, but powerful sidekicks that can grow and hold their own. Growth is a base attribute every Spirit Magus possesses that represents its current growth and does not decline naturally like Command. Accumulating a certain amount of growth will allow Spirit Magi to grow into the next stage, until they reach stage 5. Hunters can get growth through talent or gear to help Spirit Magi grow, in turn improving all their attributes and skills by leaps and bounds. And based on this mechanic, we revamped the skill system of all Spirit Magi. We will use Fire Spirits as an example below to introduce the growth of Spirit Magi. Fire Spirits have 3 skills: base skill Blazing Dance, enhanced skill Blazing Explosion, and empowered skill Blazing Whirl. At stage 2, a Fire Spirit's chance to use its enhanced skill will be increased. At stage 3, its enhanced skill will get a significant boost. At stage 4, its empowered skill will provide additional buffs to itself. At stage 5, it will get a stat boost across the board, increasing its damage, skill area, movement speed, and tracking area. With the new changes to Spirit system, new skills have been added accordingly.
Yeah, that's right. So there are 2 new active skills related to spirits now. Archery Bond is an all-new Empower Sentry placed to provide buffs to nearby allies by reducing projectile quantity but increasing additional projectile damage, attack, and cast speed. With the Bond of Archery's aid, your projectiles will travel faster and hit harder. Speed Phantom is an all-new mobility skill. Upon activation, the hunter will move in the specified direction while leaving a remnant at the starting point that keeps taunting foes. The remnant explodes after a few seconds to deal damage and inflict slow, as well as increase the hunter's spell damage and cast speed based on the number of enemies hit by the explosion. Nourishment of Life is an Empower skill created specifically for the Spirit Magi this season. Casting it creates a zone centered on and moves with the caster that increases growth for all Spirit Magi inside it. When growth is at stage 4 or above, a Spirit Magus skill area expands additionally, and casting a skill has a chance to increase its projectile quantity. Dazzling Bloom is one of the skills created specifically for Spirit Magi this season. Casting this skill can teleport Spirit Magi to a target location and make them fight the enemy of the highest rarity nearby. So, in the new season, we've prepared several brand new legendary gears for the hunters. Here, let me introduce 2 of the most distinctive pieces to you all. Eternal Elegy is a mysterious necklace from the city of Aeterna. When equipped, the hunter will gain a buff called Solemnity as they channel in place, which increases the skill radius. When Solemnity's stacks reach the upper limit, the skill will add physical damage based on a certain amount of max energy shield and remove a certain amount of life and energy shield per second. This is a legendary gear tailored for stationary channeled skills. As you channel in place, you will gain a buff called Energy Storage, and the longer you channel, the greater the buff you gain from energy storage. When energy storage reaches its upper limit, you need to make a choice. Either continue to stand still to maintain the current high buff, or convert all stored energy into instant mobility. Those who greedily deal damage in place may be slapped to death by the boss. For every 4 channeled stacks, gain 1 stack of energy storage up to a maximum of 5 stacks. When moving, consume all energy storage stacks. Hunters need to analyze the current battle situation flexibly, choose a safe position to accumulate Solemnity stacks for high damage, and escape quickly before danger arrives. Another legendary necklace is Iron Nest. As the name suggests, it makes the hunter's synthetic troop minions unable to move, but their duration is greatly increased. In addition, the command gained by the hunter per second will become the command lost per second. As the command decreases, the tactics of the synthetic troop minions will become more conservative. Of course, being conservative does not mean losing their sharpness. As the command decreases, Iron Nest will provide various bonuses to the synthetic troop minions, such as close range fire, taunt, aura effects, enlarged physique, increased multi-strike chance, and damage increment, allowing them to maintain their counter-attack power while adopting conservative tactics. It's like the synthetic troops building a sturdy and dangerous iron nest with their bodies, protecting the hunter at the center of the nest. In addition, we have added exclusive legendary gear for some story bosses. For example, the legendary shield Eclipse comes from our familiar evil dragon or Drak. Eclipse will convert most of the hunter's elemental damage into fire damage and apply 1 stack of Tenacity Blessing when applying the curse. Don't worry, this is not helping the enemy. Eclipse will grant additional base effects to Tenacity Blessing, reducing fire resistance and max fire resistance. At the same time, Eclipse also contains the Hatred of the Dragon Descendants. When the hunter deals damage to an enemy with Tenacity Blessing, there is a chance to trigger the evil dragon's attack, dealing damage and turning the target golden.
In addition to new content, we also pay close attention to your feedback on the existing content. In the new season, there will be numerous balance adjustments and optimizations. To make legendary gear even more special, we improved some of their effects. Take the legendary soldier goggles, for example. We make improvements across the board, including FXs, visual effects, gold arena effects, and iconic buffs for clashing gladiators, renown and notoriety. When equipped with the legendary soldier goggles, hunters can create a gold arena when casting a mobility skill while knocking back all non-elite opponents nearby, before unleashing renown and notoriety on both sides to begin an exciting duel. For improvements to other legendary gear, please check out the patch notes that will be released later. In the cube of our past day season, we noted some existing hero traits were not strong enough for dangerous challenges in the late game, and therefore, we made some adjustments to certain hero traits. In the new season, the benefits from Carino, Ranger of Glory special ammo have been significantly boosted, and Eoga's Space-Time Illusion and Twisted Space-Time are now affected by spell skill level bonuses. Also getting hero traits adjustments are Carino Lethal Flash and Thea Wisdom of the Gods. You can check out details in the patch notes. In the following versions, we will continue to improve or even remake older heroes and hero traits, optimizing them for better gaming experience rather than neglecting them in the light of new heroes and hero traits. Regarding value calculations, there's one very important adjustment. To avoid inflated values, we revise how affixes are calculated. Bonuses provided by the same affix are adding together, while bonuses provided by different affixes still multiply. For example, when you have the plus X% attack speed for every stack of Tenacity Blessings affix, the attack speed bonus provided by each stack will be added together. But if you also have the plus N% additional attack speed affix, the bonuses of the two affixes will be multiplied. We made large-scale changes to crafting in the cube of our past day season. Combined with all the players' feedbacks, we realized that there are still many problems with the current crafting system.
Yes, right, exactly. So here's what we've got. To begin with, the performance of crafted items is much too inferior to certain core legendary gear. Also, the availability of certain base materials way too scarce, whilst restrictions of plasticity increased the consumption of those base materials, and the affixes are randomly generated in targeted processing, which kind of complicates the process and makes the cost differences for crafting different accesses kind of unreasonable.
Yeah, and to address those issues, we revised the rules for prototype crafting and targeted processing as below. During prototype crafting, we must lock 1 to 2 affixes on the gear for re-randomization. When one affix is locked, the gear will be randomized into a piece of prototype gear with 4 fixed affixes without costing any plasticity. When 2 affixes were locked, the gear will be randomized into a piece of prototype gear with 5 fixed affixes. An affix upgrade feature has been added to prototype crafting. You can spend Flame Elementium and Plasticity to upgrade an affix, and by spending Ultimate Embers, you can upgrade a Tier 1 affix to Tier 0. By doing so, randomly remove another affix on the gear and reset the gear's plasticity to 0. And of course, gear with 0 plasticity can still be upgraded from Tier 1 to Tier 0. During targeted processing, you can directly add specific affixes to a piece of gear, and the tier of these affixes will be random tier from Tier 0 to Tier 6. Certain rare affixes such as +2 spell skill level have a chance of failing in targeted processing. Targeted processing will no longer clear the gear's plasticity, meaning targeted processed gear can now be used for prototype crafting up to reforging. The upgrade feature allows Hunter to make superior prototype gear more consistently through prototype crafting. The inclusion of Tier 0 affixes also greatly boosts prototype gear's power and the sense of surprise during prototype crafting. The affixes added in targeted processing no longer require RNG, which increases the chance of crafting the gear you want significantly. We hope these changes will bring a more reliable and delightful crafting experience to hunters. Furthermore, non-legendary gears will no longer be able to be corroded again. To improve the potency and worth of non-legendary gear, we improved their affixes, deleted most of the useless filters, such as defeat enemies to gain blessings, blessings duration, etc. Adjusted the availability of defense affixes like block, regain, armor, evade to make them more relevant, and added powerful new summer, blessing, barrage, terra, beam affixes. To make survival mechanics easier to understand and make the progression curve smoother, we modified the rules for survival progression. We have revised the calculation formula for the damage reduction provided by armor, making the damage reduction rate a fixed value that no longer changes based on the damage received. Armor now works more consistently and is easier to grasp. Meanwhile, in the new season, armor also works against other types of damage besides physical damage, though at a lower rate. Similarly, evasion is now effective against spell damage, though at a lower value as well. In the previous season, defensive skills proved to be powerful. Therefore, we cut down on the availability of the defense skill effect affixes and changed the effectiveness of defense skills. Meanwhile, we increased their default coverage. We hope these changes can balance the various defensive stats, improve the worth of armor invasion, and help you face the challenges in your defenses. Last, we made the following changes to divinity slates. For this season, there's a chance for medium talent nodes to be upgraded to rare ones during branding. Moreover, any talent nodes, even a blank talent node, has a chance to get upgraded to a new god talent node. When branding fails, a random talent node in the divinity state would change into another talent node of equal power level. Of course, you can revert it to change as usual. We hope the new rules can improve the current bland experience of branding, adding more surprises and diverse results to the process, as well as helping hunters to get the talent nodes they want easier.
Okay, so considering that the Netherrealm gameplay is going to be adjusted, I feel that a lot of players might have some doubts. The main reason for adjusting this is to make it easier for everyone to loot.
Yes, the original Chaos Invasion has many advantages. It encouraged players to farm different stages, lets them customize their loot preference and experience of excitement of stacking cards effect and compasses for massive loots, and makes obtaining loot and farming as strategic as fun as building a build. But at the same time, we have also noticed many problems it has.
The effects of the cards stack up, and the vast majority of loot is dropped in the final 1 or 2 maps where cards and compasses are almost fully stacked, which means when you don't have or are unable to draw the key card combo, trying to finish a round becomes a futile exercise. The cards dealt could vary a lot from round to round. To ensure a return, you must constantly change your farming routes based on the cards you draw, which brings a continuous burden to the long farming process.
And also, combining cards, compasses, and high-valued maps can bring a huge amount of returns. But the prices of compasses and maps fluctuates with market prices, which means when hunters fail to execute the best strategy, it's kind of like they're getting punished with significantly less earnings, or even all of their efforts might be in vain, right?
Yes, and that's why we want to make the drops of Netherrealm more intuitive while retaining the fun of the trade cards, reducing the burden for hunters and lowering the risk they have to bear when farming, and thus we made the following changes to Chaos Invasion.
At the beginning of each round of Chaos Invasion, trait cards will not be drawn. Instead, every trait card in the deck will take effect in all maps within the region. The new rules not only ensure the strategic deck building experience, but also greatly reduce the risk posed to hunters by drawing cards. Consequently, we have also made adjustments to the effects of all trait cards to make their strength more consistent with permanent standards. After removing R and G from the drawing of trait cards, we hope to provide more surprises for hunters through Chaos cards. In this season, the effects of Confusion cards have been greatly enhanced. When the time mark is activated, several cards will be drawn from the Confusion card library and placed in that area. Hunters need to choose the Confusion card, clear the corresponding stage, and accumulate progress. When the progress is completed, a very powerful effect will be added to the stage where the Confusion card is located. In the new season, different decks and cards will be available in various time marks and regions, allowing hunters to challenge time marks in regions that best suit them. In addition to Chaos Invasion, we also made adjustments to the gameplay and compasses in Netherrealm. Since the 6 Gods gameplay is the most basic and common gameplay in Netherrealm, we want its experience to be consistent and attractive. So we have replaced the random rewards of 6 Gods with fixed universal rewards to prevent hunters from losing their expectations for rewards due to receiving random low value rewards. Meanwhile, we have removed the majority of compasses and only kept those that are necessary for specific gameplay. In the new season, these compasses will be listed in the shop at a fixed price to prevent any gameplay strategies from becoming unavailable due to market fluctuations. After removing the compasses, we have introduced new Netherrealm difficulty levels to replace the difficulty and additional drops brought by the compasses. The first thing that should be noted is that in order to enrich the combat experience of hunters in Netherrealm, we have changed the difficulty of the Netherrealm Space-Time Turbulence to Time Mark 8. We have added new difficulty levels to Netherrealm Time Marks, adding 2 marks to the original Time Mark 7 and 4 marks to Time Mark 8. In these new marks, enemies will become more dangerous, and the number of drops within stages will also increase. Unlike using a compass, challenging new difficulty levels does not require additional items. Please choose the areas you wish to challenge wisely based on your own strength. We have also added a special mode called Deep Space to Time Mark 8. Deep Space is unlocked at Time Mark 8 and later. Hunters will need to spend specific beacons to access the Netherrealm stages in Deep Space mode, and of course, they will receive more abundant rewards as well. So during the Cube of Rapacity season, we noticed that the frequently appearing affix skills at Time Mark 8 were causing significant performance strain on a lot of players' devices. So to address this issue, we have specifically designed affix skills for the Netherrealm stages at Time Mark 8 to assure they appear in appropriate locations, right? And provide enough pressure for hunters during their progression, whilst at the same time removing the pressure on their devices.
Exactly. And also, hunters often need legendary gears to aid them in battles, but powerful legendary gears is often in short supply. And therefore, we have added a new way to obtain legendary gears, the blueprint system. By collecting a certain number of legendary gear blueprints, you will be able to craft the corresponding legendary gear in your inventory. Blueprints will be available as drops in the new season, enriching hunters' means of obtaining legendary equipment.
So the Invincible Mark II is a great buddy for hunters to improve, right? Behind every great player, in fact, there are countless Invincible Mark IIs getting absolutely destroyed. But we discovered some issues after reviewing Invincible Mark II's work in previous season.
Yes, the DPS we had before is an important indicator for measuring the strength of a build, but it's not the only one. We do not want our hunters to be fixated on pursuing high DPS and overlook other equally important indicators such as survival. In the new season, the max DPS Invincible Mark II can display is 99.9 billion, which is enough to clear anything and everything this season. Moreover, the level of Invincible Mark II and Hunter's current survival will also be shown.
We improved the user experience of Trade House as follows. We have added a global search feature to Trade House, making it easier for hunters to find items. Items listed, removed, and purchased in the Trade House will be automatically locked to prevent hunters from making inadvertent mistakes. We have increased the max collection pages by 10 pages, so hunters can now put more desired items in their collection. The search feature of Trade House now supports filtering by affix tier, making it easier for hunters to quickly find gear that suits them. The condition search results include any item in the condition group is automatically added when using advanced search. We have added a feature to enable and disable condition groups, making it easier for hunters to search for their desired items. A price checking feature has been added to the tips of Trade House, making it more convenient for hunters to inquire about item prices. A criteria search button is added to the tips of development items in the Trade House. Click on it to go to advanced search and auto check the corresponding basic criteria. We're changing highlight prices to price filter, which can save the filtered prices of different items. Hunters can now search the base affixes of corroded gear. We hope these improvements will bring a better Trade House experience to hunters. In the Cube of Rapacity season, hunters successfully repelled the Malice incarnation that has spread throughout Lepsis, but the power of the cube has not gone away completely. In the new season, the Avarice code will be reset, and there is still a chance for hunters to encounter the cube in Netherrealm. Beat the Malice incarnation, win rewards from the cube, and use its power to make yourself stronger.
We have always been committed to improving the gaming experience for hunters. In the previous season, we noticed that in certain extreme situations, hunters would encounter lag or even crashes. which affect the overall game experience. For this season, we optimized display strategies of special effects, damage calculations, ammo creation, and loot drops to significantly improve the game's frame rate and performance consistency, all in the hopes of providing you with a smoother, better gaming experience.
The new season will introduce 3 new legendary pack spirits: Scale of Original Sin, Abyssal King Soul, and Monument Knight. Scale of Original Sin's ability is to enhance the combat capabilities related to Spirit Magus. Abyssal King Soul is to enhance damage over time and reaping efficiency. And Monument Knight is to enhance the Hunter's loot efficiency in the City of Aeterna, season-exclusive gameplay. Purchasing the Ultimate Season Pass will unlock the new hero, the Forsaken Iris, as well as Portal, back accessory, footprint, and one-handed axe outfit appearances. Katai has 2 swimsuits, while Moto and Iris not only get their own advanced outfit, but also provide new outfits for their beloved minions and Spirit Magus.
That's all for today's season preview livestream. In fact, there are still many other contents that we haven't introduced to you yet, but this will be discovered in the season patch notes, including balance and battle adjustment that most of our players pay attention to.
Yeah, that's right. And in fact, updating so many contents for each season is still a really big challenge, no matter whether it's devs or operations. We're working on a really tight schedule, but our goal is still super clear. We hope to continuously enrich the game content, improve the game experience through each successive season update, and strive to make the most fun loot-based ARPG.
Yeah, we hope to continue to receive your support in the upcoming season and welcome you to discuss and provide feedback on the game content in the community. Thank you all for watching the new season preview, and the new season will start officially on September 7th, 5 p.m. We look forward to exploring the City of Aeterna with you all.
See you in the new season.
See you!